Hey folks, this is Cindy. Thanks so much for stopping by. I am here today for a blog name Hero, and we are going to be taking a look at more of our favorite Hero Arts products. And in my last video, I talked about how the Hero Arts card kits are my favorite Hero Arts products, and that's true. And we're going to be taking at that a little bit today again. However, I got to thinking about it, and one of my other favorite Hero Arts products is actually their color layering stamp sets. And I know if you followed me at all, you've probably heard me say that I generally don't use them that often. I'm generally not, it's not something I go for, but I got to thinking about it, and I'm going to explain to you why I'm putting this in with my favorite Hero Arts products. So the first thing we're going to take a look at here is this is a tag die set. This was in the My Monthly Hero June of 2016 card kit, and this is hands down, I can't even tell you how many times that I have used this die set. I am a huge fan of tags and having tags or little note card style tags on hand, and this die set is brilliant for it. These are a few Hero Arts color layering stamp sets. I actually have done several projects with these. These were great, make really great gifts. I did up some kits for some of our neighbor kiddos to get them into stamping, and these were perfect for it because really at the end of the day, color layering stamp sets are so easy. I mean, it's all kind of right there for you, and Hero Arts really steps it up a notch because they actually do color coordinated inks for these. So not only can you get the stamp set, but you can get the coordinating inks. I know some of them also come with embossing powder, so it's kind of all right there for you. You can throw together a really quick an easy project, and they're all so different. They all have some sort of theme that it covers so many bases. So that's kind of why I chose these. I'm a colorist at heart, but if you're looking for something quick and easy and really fun, I think the Hero Arts color layering stamp sets really fit the bill for that. So I'm not gonna walk you through all of the ones that I do today. In fact, I don't even use the seahorse stamp set at all, but I really wanted you to see these. These have been out for a while, so you may or may not be familiar with them, but I thought that this would be a great focus. Now, I've had the For You Flowers stamp set in my stash forever, and I love the sentiments in this, and I thought, okay, today's the day I'm actually going to use this as a color layering stamp set. And I will have all of the color layering kits that Hero has available linked down in the description below, as well as over on a blog named Hero, and as well as over on my blog. So let's take a look at these tags. I have 6 of the Nina Solar White 80-pound cardstock die cut with that tag die. And one of the things that I really like about this is the die itself is it has a score line. So all you need to do is cut these out and fold it in half. There are other ways you can kind of make your own tag, and this particular die set was only available in the July of 2016 card kit. So if you didn't get that, I will link to an alternative for you, and as well as tell you how you could do something like this. If you have this tag, this is a really great option for you. It also comes with a little die that you can cut out a panel. You can put that on the inside, you could put it on the outside, you could skip it all together. I always cut these out because I stamp my name on the back of them, and that kind of helps hide that. But you don't need to use it if you don't want to. All right, this is the Hero Arts Color Layering Bouquet stamp set. And this one, I'm starting with this one because I think this is probably the easiest color layering stamp set you could possibly get your hands on. And I'm just going to stamp these in the layers. Now, on the back of the packaging, Hero Arts shows you in what order, what layer, and what position these are supposed to be stamped in. And I'm just simply following that. And I'm using all of the colors that you would get in this kit if you purchased an inclusive kit. I started with Green Hills. Now I'm stamping these flowers in fresh peach. Then I'm stamping the second layers of flowers and the bow in Butter Bar. And at this point, you could totally decide how you want to do this. You could add heat embossing to this, which I actually do on this one. You could just leave it plain. You could take some gel pens and go over the top of that. You could do all sorts of things with color layering stamp sets, but really the brilliance in them is you don't have to. You can just stamp them in straight colored ink and you still have something really, really cool, and it's really quick and easy. So after I had that butter bar stamped, I went back over it with Versamark ink, and now I'm going to heat emboss it with Hero Arts clear embossing powder. And then I decide that I want to do some ink blending. I actually end up ink blending every one of these tags. You don't have to do that. It's just something I like to do. So I decided to incorporate the soft cantaloupe that is in with the color coordinated inks for this particular stamp set. So I wanted to bring in that soft cantaloupe. So I decided to do some ink blending around the edge of this tag. I'm keeping it pretty light. Nothing spectacular, nothing fancy. It just kind of helps finish this off. Overall, I really wanted to keep these tags pretty simple. I try to mix it up and do something a little bit different with each one of them, kind of give them their own finishing touch, but again, not something you have to do. Now I'm going to stamp this sentiment on here, and because this tag is a little bit smaller, I decided to put it just below that bouquet. This is Hero Arts charcoal black ink. I double stamp it, and then I'm going to go over the top of it with the Versamark ink. And then I'm going to heat emboss it again with Hero Arts clear embossing powder, and it just adds a little bit of texture and dimension to it. Now I want to finish off the inside of those fresh peach flowers, and I have a gray, yes, it's a gray jelly roll pen by Sakura, and I'm just putting little dots on the inside of those flowers to just kind of finish them off a little bit, and then this tag is pretty much done. You could use whatever twine, ribbon, whatever you would like to loop through that hole, or you could just leave it plain if you'd like. Okay, so next up is the color layering bird and branch stamp set, and this one is going to be fairly monochromatic because I'm trying to stick with the inks that would be in the color coordinated kits as much as possible, and that's one of the things that I enjoy about this. While everything is still easy to use, the color layering stamp sets are still easy to use in themselves. By just sticking with those inks that you would get that color coordinate, it really helps you think outside of the box, and that just makes it a little bit more fun. So the first layer was cornflower, the second layer is stone wash, this third layer is the Hero Arts Bold Hybrid Mold Wine ink, which is one of my favorite colors, but I really love how it blends with these two blue inks. Because that is the hybrid ink, and it stays wet for just long enough, I can put some Hero Arts clear embossing powder over that third layer and just kind of add a little bit of dimension to that, and it just kind of helps make the bird just a little bit more spiffy. Now for his legs, I am going to use VersaFine Onyx Black ink, and I did heat emboss those as well because I knew that I was going to be embossing or stamping his little beak over the top of the previous layer of embossing, so I kind of needed that Onyx Black in order to do that. I stamped the branch in charcoal black ink by Hero Arts, and now I'm going to do the little flowers that would go with this. You could also stamp leaves on this, but I'm just going to stick with these flowers. They're all in one piece. I went over it the first time with cornflower ink, just a single layer. I don't care if it's solid or not, because now I'm going to come in with that stonewash ink, and I'm just tapping the edge of that ink pad along the bottom side of each of those flowers, and then I'm going to take my finger and kind of spread that out a little bit. So it's not completely, the ink itself isn't completely covering up those stamps, just a portion of it. So I can stamp it over the top of that cornflower, and then we kind of have a two-tone ink. Now, there's the other option for you. You could absolutely use these color layering stamps with ombre inks. There's many examples out there, folks. They're so much fun and still easy to use that's definitely something to keep in mind, and I strongly suggest that you check it out. Now I'm just going to go around the edge of that after I had done some ink blending and just simply stamp those flowers, and then I'm going to heat emboss those as well. This is Hero Arts Clear Sparkle Embossing Powder. And then I thought that I would leave it at that, but then I decided it needed a little bit more black tied into it since I do have black on that bird's legs. So after I go over the flowers with some Nuvo Aqua Shimmer pen, I do end up taking a Sakura Black Jelly Roll pen and just adding dots to the inside of those flowers, and then that finishes that off. Okay, so this is the color layering Goldfish stamp set, and I used dandelion, strawberry, green apple, and unicorn white pigment ink on this. These would be the colors that you would get that goes with the color layering Goldfish, and I just stamped those straight up. Nothing fancy schmancy, just got everything stamped on there. The only thing that I did on this one that is different is I took those bubbles, so the bubbles themselves are outlines, and I stamped those in unicorn white pigment ink, but I wanted to fill those in a little bit. So I stamped them in the pigment ink. I heat embossed them with Hero Art Satin Pearl embossing powder, and then I took a Versamark pen, filled those in, and then put more Satin Pearl embossing powder on them. So it looked like my bubbles were a little bit more solid, and it added just a little bit more character to them. Now I'm taking the Nuvo Aqua Shimmer pen, and I'm just strictly going over everything that I had stamped with the Bold Hybrid Strawberry ink on those little goldfish. And then I'm going to call it good for that one. And that's kind of it. You know, you don't have to do a whole lot, and it's still super duper cute. This is the color layering Octopus stamp set, and I believe this was one of the first-ish color layering stamp sets that Hero Arts did. So there really isn't color coordinated inks that you can buy specifically with these. I will actually list over on the blog name Hero, as well as below, the inks I used on this. I just kind of picked what I thought would go well with this. I stamped this guy and the coral reefs as they were intended, and then to kind of add my own little touch to it, I did some ink blending with mint julep ink. Now I'm coming back in with the solid fish and the bubbles that are in the stamp set, and I'm stamping those again. So it just kind of looks like they're little shadows, silhouettes. So it looks like they're kind of floating in the background of this octopus. Then I added some Nuvo Aqua Shimmer pen to the darkest parts of the octopus, which was stamped in the Hero Arts Emerald Green ink. And then I called this guy good. I love these colors together, and I just think this octopus looks amazing, and no matter what color you stamp him in. And I have seen this guy done in so many different colors. I have seen him completely heat embossed to both layers. I've seen him stamped in with a dye ink on his first layer. The second layer is colored heat embossing. The sky is the limit with this guy, and I gotta say, it's probably one of my favorite color layering stamp sets to date. One of my other favorite things about the Hero Arts color layering stamp sets is the versatility of each one of them. So you have encouragement, you have thinking of you, you have birthday, you have all sorts of different options you can choose from. There's winter themed, there's autumn theme, and I think that's awesome. I think they just do a really good job in covering all of those different occasions that you can think of, and that's just fun. Okay, so last but certainly not least is the Hero Arts Color Layering For You Flowers stamp set. I have used the sentiments out of the stamp set a ton because I just think they're gorgeous. So I was super excited to be able to actually use the stamp set today. And I kept this really simple. The whole point behind this, actually the whole point of all of my tags today, is I did not want to do any masking on any of them. I really wanted to keep it simple and to the point and call it good. So I did do a little bit of heat embossing on a couple of those flowers, and I used the Hero Arts Clear Sparkle embossing powder just to kind of give it a little bit more character, because I knew that I wasn't going to be adding a whole lot to this particular tag at the end of the day. So after I got everything stamped and I had my ink blending done, I came back in with the gray Sakura Jelly Roll pen, and I did add some dots to the inside of those two little flowers. I add some dots around all of the images themselves. If you follow me at all, you'll know that this is one of my favorite things to embellish a finished card or a finished tag. I think this is generally the easiest way to approach that. So that's what I do with that. And then I stamp the sentiment on it with Hero Arts Charcoal Black ink. And then I am good to go with this. So I'm just going to finish this up and then I will share all of these tags and now that they're done with you here in just a moment. In the meantime, do be sure to head over to a blog named Hero to participate in the Use Your Favorite Hero Arts Product Challenge. You have until April 10th before the challenge closes. And there are two $25 gift cards to Hero Arts up for grabs. Do be sure to participate, folks. It is so much fun and definitely worth it. All right, so this one is done and good to go. I don't think that any of these tags took me more than maybe 7 minutes each to just kind of pull together. And this is what they look like finished up. I did take some baker's twine and attach those to each of these tags. Again, that's not something you'd have to do. You could also cut these apart. So you could get two tags out of one. You would just cut it up there on top of that score line if you'd like and just have a single tag. Again, I just like having a note card style. I mentioned at the beginning of the video that these color layering stamp sets make great gifts. At Christmas time, I put together some kits for my kiddos here in my neighborhood, and I literally just took the color layering stamp set kits that you can get from Hero Arts that come with little ink cubes, and I put in some acrylic blocks and some cardstock and card bases and some adhesive and just put it all together for them to introduce them into stamping, and they were over the moon for it. You could do that with anybody. It makes a great gift because they are so easy to use and so much fun. Because seriously, look at the goldfish. Like, who can say no to that? So anyway, we are done. We are good to go. Do be sure to head on over to a blog named Hero to participate in this challenge. And I hope you enjoyed my projects today. If you did, hit that like button and share it with your friends. Also be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and tap that bell next to the subscribe button so you can receive all future notifications. Thanks again so much for stopping by. Until next time.